Bennett. You may not recognize him with his shirt on.
I found it for a few hours.
Hey, Beck, your seat's over here, homie.
I'm very happy. He's my favorite.
So I've already told everyone there's a big...
What's up, San Diego? Happy first day, guys. Sorry, Anthony.
That's okay.
What's up, San Diego?
Some of you guys. These guys are from San Diego, so they really mean it.
Kyle and I grew up in Scripps Ranch.
And we also specifically grew up inside of comic books.
You're just lying. Then we met Kevin, who co-wrote the film in middle school in 8th grade at Marshall Middle School in Scripps Ranch.
What up, Marshall Middle School?
Work for these locations. And then we made a movie. Sorry.
Did you guys used to come to Comic-Con?
You guys go right ahead.
Wait, I had a real question. Did you guys used to come to Comic-Con when you were kids? When it was here? I came in 91, I want to say. I think Todd McFarlane was signing, as well as Stan Lee. My oldest brother was a big comic book fan, so I went and I bought some Return of the Jedi action figures. Wrong answer. Well, it's true.
So this is a movie about a guy, without getting into what happens next, about a guy who sees the whole world through the lens of this strange pop culture artifact, Brigsby Bear. What were some of the inspirations for the type of show that Brigsby Bear is?
Well, one reference that we went back to a lot was the live-action Teddy Ruxpin special from 1985. Anybody here from the production? No. Yes? Oh. No. You're talking everything. We got to throw everything in there. There was this live-action Winnie the Pooh show on the Disney Channel in the 80s called Welcome to Pooh Corner, Dumbo's Flying Circus. But then you got elements of Star Wars, He-Man, Rainbow Bright, Care Bears. Anything was kind of fair game for the Brigsby world.
I was getting a little Land of the Lost vibe from it too. Is that?
I think that's very fair and a cute observation.
So you guys knew each other when you were kids. Were you like this guy? Obviously you didn't live in whatever world he's in, post-apocalyptic, futuristic, whatever, but I don't know, what was San Diego like back then?
There's always been great waves. But I can speak for myself. I'm an obsessive person, and I've always been into those things. 80s and 90s children's television is probably my go-to. I think a lot of us were very obsessed with Saved by the Bell too, though that has nothing really to do with our movie. It does. It's the same. If you like Saved by the Bell, you're gonna love Brigsby Bear. All the same characters. Just wait till you see the rest of it.
It's canon. Saved by the Bell canon.
They'll come back.
It just gave away the twist. So when you were putting together the script and assembling the Brigsby Bear show, did he ever take any other forms besides sort of the big mascot-like bear? How did you come to the bear? Was it that the Teddy Ruxpin influence?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think, honestly, that was just, there are so many, that just kind of popped out in the initial writing process, but there are a lot of great bears, generally. Gummy bears, country bears, Yogi Bear, Berenstain Bears.
Brer Bear?
Brer Bear is one of, maybe no one here knows, but it's he's an animatronic bear in a localized video cassette that was distributed, and he loves Spumoni ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Kyle has a knack for finding very obscure VHSs in thrift stores and has developed quite a collection that when you can find like a regional children's educational video that has creatures or animatronics or puppetry, they tend to be that next layer of special because there's always a chance that the production is so absurd and the dialogue is even more strange and less professional. And
It's like somebody trying to be Jim Henson or Walt Disney, but just having $200.
Yeah. And so we've had Kyle's friends, and myself included, have had the fortune of, through his tireless work sifting through all these videos that he finds, and oftentimes they aren't funny enough to share, but he'll do the work to find those golden moments and then share that 2 minutes of a hour-long weird, like, Canadian public access show, and we'll get to experience the great moments. But I think the seed of this idea of this show being made just for one person may have that experience that Kyle was going through watching these videos that pretty much no one else in the world probably right now are watching and or own, or maybe just a few of these exist. I think that could have, this is just a theory too, because we could never point to this factually, but I think that experience unconsciously seeped into Kyle's brain, where he was feeling like these shows are kind of made just for him in those moments.
It sounds like you're saying that he's the Joel McHale of VHS children's.
That's exactly
right?
what I was.
It's like he watches it so you don't have to. You guys remember that tagline from that show? Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll take it.
What are some of your more obscure treasures?
Besides Prayer Bear, Nathaniel the Grublet is one I love. I don't know. Lately I've been really into like the We Singdoms, which aren't necessarily obscure, but colorful kind of musical entities. I don't know. Why don't you guys just come over to my apartment in the West Village of New York and check them out?
Well, one of the great things about Comic-Con is coming together with other fans. We all have our jobs and our lives. People come from across the country, from across the world to be here to share their fandom with each other. And what I find really touching about this story, without giving away where it goes from this point, is that James doesn't have that. He has his chat groups online through his ancient-looking computer, but he doesn't have anybody to share it with, and you can tell from this clip that he's yearning for that. Can you talk about like the heart of this character? I think it's a really sweet movie, apart from being a strange story too.
Kevin may have
Kevin's co-writer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're all just pretty passionate guys and are looking for stuff that, we were all, I was awkward. Kyle and Dave were pretty cool growing up, but I think pop culture is the only way that I really knew how to talk to people about anything. It was the only way that I sort of was able to kind of like feel safe and like have, my own little world, and following that passion and looking for a connection. That was always such, all of my best friends were created through situations like that, I feel like. So we wanted to, in an abstraction where he's isolated, how powerful that yearning would be with such a strong and interesting emotion. And what happens after this, I think, is him trying to follow through on that want and connecting with people. And for someone who's never actually physically done it in his life, it's a very simple thing, just like talking to someone about your favorite show. But if you've never, ever done that, it would be this hugely emotionally impactful experience, which was really, it was funny to us, but also very emotionally powerful.
Sure. That was good. That was real good.
Thanks, guys.
So you've got a guy who he's now going to enter, his world is going to open up. I think that's fair to say based on the lights he sees coming toward his bunker. But he can only view the world through the lens of Brigsby Bear. Beck, without getting into who your character is, I think it's okay to say that he's skeptical about James and his affection for this world, right?
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is exactly.
It's not so heartwarming to your character.
I am. I mean, he's. I play a detective, and he's just unlike anybody else I've really come across. And he has these different ideas. He seems to operate by his own rules because he was. Can I just tell me if I'm saying too much?
So far you're fine, but we'll see what happens.
All right. He was just raised with a different set of rules. So as a law enforcement type, I'm skeptical of him, and I see him as a problem. And his his ideas, I see them as unhinged and something to be careful.
And would
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that your character in the movie is named Bander?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pronounce it that way, you could pronounce it Bander, Kondar. But
You're giving away too much, man. Too much.
Sorry, that's too much. That's fair to say.
Hey, can we talk about some of the other actors who were in the film? Obviously, you've got Jane Addams and a guy named Mark Hamill, is it?
Yes. Yeah. You guys obviously know Star Wars.
Does anybody here know Schaffer? Is that a show?
Yes, there's a funny one too.
Tell me about bringing him into this role. Obviously, he's iconic.
The question is, how did he get involved?
How did you get him involved? Yeah.
I'll say that when Kyle and Kevin wrote a really beautiful, heartwarming script, and I think it's obviously such a unique concept, and I think every time we would send it out to possible cast members that people would really respond favorably, and it really helped having the Lonely Island Boys package with Lord and Miller.
Digging a box. Thanks. So funny. I'm just laughing just thinking about it.
But it's hard for someone like a Mark Hamill who he's aware. I mean, he watches Saturday Night Live. Kyle and I and Beck work there, but I'm a first-time director. Kyle has never led a film. It's hard to take that risk to roll the dice on a situation like that with such a surreal concept. But then when you add the support of such accomplished filmmakers like The Lonely Island and Lord Miller, I think it helps put together a package that makes people go like, I think if they're willing to take the risk on these guys, I think I might be able to.
I think that that's a very sweet thing to say, and is certainly true that it helps validate a project to like have other people who you trust involved. But to me, and this is the reason we got involved, just reading the script, it was so inspired and heartfelt and fun and interesting and on every level it was like nothing we'd ever read before. And I know in having talked to Mark when we were at Sundance that that's certainly how we felt about it. And so I think that everyone who read the script just sort of believed that this was going to be a good project. And then these guys we were friends with before they got SNL, and when it came time for them to look for someone to replace us, I think I can say this, right? Like these were the guys that we were like, they're so much like us. they're fantastic. So we were fans of theirs from before, and so we had immediate trust for it. But it was really on the page.
Also, Will knows Mark's daughter.
Oh yeah.
That could have been it too.
That helped with the.
Yeah. Accompanying Brigsby is Ben Bays, who works at a company called Stupid Buddy Studios, and they were our feature design shop that we went back and forth with on the design passes of how to finalize this bear. And we ended up, Ben, if you want to take a mic, and if you could talk through just the animatronics. These animatronics are so important to us and inspired a little bit by Chuck E. Cheese and that live action Teddy Ruxpin that Kyle mentioned, but we really wanted that eyebrow movement, the eyelids and the eyes and the mouth. And so what Ben would do when we were filming the TV shows, he would be mic'd and do the scratch track audio of Brigsby. Ben, could you do that?
Hold the mic for you? Yeah, we need to hold the mic for you.
Someone's got to hold the mic. And then I'm going to have you read. So this is a action figure this is a prototype of an action figure that we may try to mass produce. But on the back of it, there's a blurb about Brigsby, and I'm going to give it to you. Or you're going to have to, Kevin, hold this for him as well. This is Brigsby talking. If we could take Ben out of that frame so it just looks like it's Brigsby. Yeah.
Director Dave McCary at work, baby. Wait, seeing the process.
Brigsby was born on the planet of Pondera to his bear parents, Salzo Bear and Puffa Bear. A smart and precious cub, he was sent away at an early age to learn various positive light energy techniques from the great wizard Vortep. One day, while mining for power crystals in the Morta Caves, Brigsby met the child twins Ariel and Nina Smiles, who were in hiding from a mysterious presence that had destroyed their home planet. They became fast friends and bonded over a love of education and ancient Mancrawley songs. At the dawn of the first Quest Wars, the three friends joined Star Squad Alliance, where they met the young hotshot pilot Goody Goose. Together, they were able to stop the evil Sun Snatcher from enslaving their galaxy, although he ultimately made an escape to the mirror dimension. From that day forward, the comrades made a pact to stop Sun Snatcher by any means possible, while also spreading positivity, joy, and love throughout the galaxy, and making new friends along the way.
One more time. All right,
That was great, Ben. Thank you so much.
thank you, Ben. Let's hear it for Brigsby. These guys killed it. They were so
So, Ben, to be clear, that he cannot see out of that face, correct?
He can see, he just can't see anything past right about here. So nothing's here, he's got a bunch of servos that are directly in front of his face that are powering all the facial features, which are basically little motors.
And that's also, it's not a real bear. Spoiler alert.
Or is it? I mean, it's moving around like a real bear.
Bears don't wear t-shirts.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's not a real bear.
So we're going to take some questions from the audience, too. Does the bear want to stay out here for that?
Yeah, let's just keep the bear, just in case.
Keep the bear. It's good and handy.
I wanna
So
ask
we have a microphone here. There are folks lined up, but sometimes there are people in the audience who have good questions, but they're shy or they don't want to get to the mic. If you want to tweet,
Less good Smurfs.
Yeah, the rip-off of Smurfs.
Yeah.
They lived under the sea and messed around.
Astro, he was like the, I don't know, he was just like the cool guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was just like, I'll never be as cool as Astro Snork. It's just fun to say.
Sounds like a stand-up bit.
Pee Wee Herman
Yeah. Anyway.
or Marty McFly. Those are probably two of the biggest influences.
I will say Lion-O, and a little mouse named Mickey. I know from the Thundercats.
I guess the X-Men I loved growing up, and I would watch the TV show. And,
You might actually have some of the X-Men here.
yeah. Yeah, the X-Men.
Did you do any X-Men moves?
Yeah, I did X-Men moves by myself in my room, and I'll be doing a display of those later after the event.
Just show us one right now.
Yeah, did you do it?
Yes!
But were you shirtless when you did it? I'm just kidding, you don't have to take a shot.
Jorma said, were you shirtless when you did it? He was trying to get you to take off your shirt, but it was a joke. Kevin.
I love those Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, baby.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles. That's in Michelangelo.
Yeah.
That is a part of it.
Figured out.
Yeah.
So you like Michelangelo?
Wait, Kyle. You have some.
Oh, I don't think that's...
Oh. Sorry. Okay, next question.
take the next question here.
Hi, my name's Jada, and I was just wondering how this movie is different from other Lonely Island movies or even SNL sketches that Kyle and Beck are in.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, you have
Nothing like it, really. Ours are more like goof-offs, and this was more of like a sweet-off. That's what I would call it.
Yeah,
Nice off.
I think that you can tell from even what you guys saw earlier that it's maybe not what you would expect from these guys, and that was what was so exciting about reading the script for me was just like this is very different. It feels again super inspired and imaginative in ways that we love, but it is like a completely sweet heartfelt story. So, not like we don't make stuff that's heartfelt, but we don't.
I think one thing we've said is that one of the cool things about making a movie, which is in essence just a very long video, is that, like on SNL or for internet videos, you do want to get jokes frequently, every 30 seconds or something like that. With this, we got to take our time. It has a tone where everything is played pretty earnestly, and it's not broad, but there are definitely, I think, funny moments throughout.
I would disagree. I think everyone should go see this. Bring your mom, your grandma. Very broad.
What I said, I didn't mean like broad comedy. I think, you can see it.
Yeah. So here's a question from the audience, from Emily Dabonsky. She wants Kyle to tell us about his favorite SNL character you've played. She also wants to know if you have a favorite Pokemon.
Favorite Pokemon? Pika? Favorite character I've played, some of these are characters that I've developed over time, and so I just kind of have a natural fondness for them, but I really like doing Bruce Chamberlain. He's the stand-up comic.
Tell a joke.
A lot of times the audience doesn't like it when I do it.
But that's what's special about
Here's
it.
a joke I told in San Francisco. So this is, so we're going to pretend like we're in San Francisco right now.
Wait, no, hold on. Can I say?
Oh, Dave wants me to tell a different joke. I don't know if...
They're all great.
It's like kind of complicated.
Okay. Well, whatever. They're all great.
The Declaration of Independence. Okay, here's the Declaration of Independence. It was just July 4th, so this makes sense.
In Philadelphia.
Good to be here, right? In Philadelphia. Make some noise for Philadelphia. I hear you guys got this Declaration of Independence, right? This is what they wrote. You heard about this? You seen this? The Declaration of Independence. Basically what happened is, Americans were like, hey, we want to declare our independence from the British people. I'm like, hey, that's not a bad idea. I'm thinking I might actually write my own Declaration of Independence. Yeah. I'll declare my independence from house cleaning.
Yes.
And if you could have been there that night.
And what's charming about that character is he is so confident that these jokes are good. But they're just not. And I just love the way that you perform them, Kyle. I'm a big fan of you.
Well, I'm a big fan of everybody at this table.
Too.
And I'm a big fan of these guys too.
Cool.
Bennett. Star Squad Alliance.
Kevin, who's that bottle?
Oh, sorry. These are the Whizzles, and this is the Whizzle Prince.
And
That explains that.
without giving away too much of the process, I don't know if you guys remember the Fry Kids from McDonald's, but we added beaks to them.
And then, of course, you got your Smile Sisters. This is Ariel and Nina Smiles.
Played by Caitlin Shield,
Yes.
who you saw in the movie.
And I think it's safe to say that Ariel is the better Smile sister.
Yes.
Yeah. This is Sun Soldier, one of thousands. They're made in factories by Sunstash. They're kind of his shock troops.
Kind of stormtrooper-esque. Or like, I don't know, one thing I always thought of when we were coming up with these were I don't know if you guys watched She-Ra, but the Skeletor equivalent of She-Ra was this guy Hordak, and he had troops like that. Remember?
And then, Kevin, can you turn that around to the front to just show the figure? And so you see the.
That's $15,000 for you guys to buy one.
Can you see?
Well worth it.
Can you see in that call out? Is that what it's called, Ben? A call out? In that little POW box, it says respects elders. It's an important message. Are we sure that's not a real thing?
All right, thank you. Let's hear it for Brigsby Bear. Thank you, Pauline.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it once again for the creative team cast of Brigsby